The hobby of collecting autographs has a history perhaps much further back than you have ever realized. As far back as the times of the Roman Empire, when people used individually designed signet rings to seal and wax their official documents and letters, collectors emerged who wanted to collect these signet rings. Even Julius Caesar himself had 6 cabinets full of his signet ring collection. After the Roman Empire times during the Renaissance period, a signature on an original piece of art or book manuscript increased the value significantly. Throughout Europe, original literary works signed by the author were highly prized and carefully protected. During the 18th century, wealthy elites continued this tradition and assembled great collections of correspondence and written words of literary greats, as well as artwork. As early as the 1830s, public marketplaces and auction houses that focused on the buying and selling of autographs were established, especially in London. In America, the earliest known autograph collector was one William B. Sprague. Mr. Sprague tutored members of George Washington's family, and he was given permission to keep many letters of correspondence between George Washington and the others, as long as he left copies to be kept for the records. When he was granted this permission, he began searching out autographs of different well-known people and took about 1,500 pieces of correspondence from George Washington. By the time he passed away, he had amassed around 40,000 different pieces of collected autographed correspondence. So with all this in mind, it's not surprising at all that collecting autographs of sports players is something that's basically been around for as long as sports themselves. Well, most of what I've said up to this point has been discussing autograph collecting about famous literary works or pieces of art. It was in relation to the emergence of the popularity of baseball, in which this tradition widened to include sports players' autographs. The earliest known baseball autograph collection known to exist is from 1892, even before the time when baseball players were idolized by a wide fan base. This picture here is an autograph of Cy Young that was unearthed in a collection of 1890s autographs that was hidden away for more than 100 years. But it was really the 1920s when collecting autographs of baseball players really emerged in a larger way. The 1920s began what is now referred to as the golden age of baseball. This was the time when baseball became a major part of America's culture. Today, many autographs of famous baseball players from this time can still be found. Sometimes they're much less rare than you may imagine. Babe Ruth, for example, the baseball player who kind of spurred on America's devotion to baseball, was a prolific autographer. And from the 1920s forward, collecting sports players' autographs has continued on as a popular hobby. Autographs on sports cards. Baseball cards have a history almost as old as baseball itself, so it's none too surprising that as autograph collecting became a thing, one of the mediums on which these autographs were collected was on baseball cards. Not only baseball cards, of course, many people preferred to get their autographs on baseballs or bats or memorabilia of various sorts, but sports cards were one of the many popular canvases for baseball player autographs, and this continued on throughout the decades. But it wasn't until 1990 when a sports card company decided to make a more purposeful connection between sports card collecting and autograph collecting. Back in 1990, if you ripped open a pack of Upper Deck baseball cards, it was possible to pull an autographed card of Reggie Jackson. This is now recognized as the first ever pack-inserted autographed sports card. In 1991, Score inserted some autographs into their baseball packs. In 1992, Topps Gold had some well-loved autograph cards, and from then forward, though it took some time before it became a major trend in sports card packs, autograph cards did exist in some sets here and there. But then in 1996, a few important things began to happen. Firstly, prior to 1996, only baseball cards, not other sports, contained autographed cards, and by and large, the autographed cards that were available weren't massively mainstream or massively sought. They had niche collectors, sure, but it wasn't a big part of the sports card hobby. But 1996 is when you could find the first ever pack-inserted card of the one, the only, Michael Jordan. The 1996 SPX autograph card of Michael Jordan could potentially be found in a $5 pack of Upper Deck SPX. Goodness. This card was released just at a time when basketball cards were constantly on the lookout for the next cool thing, and autograph cards became the next cool thing to be inserted into packs. The next year, 1997, also saw the first ever cards to include little pieces of game-used jersey put inside the card itself, in the iconic Upper Deck jersey memorabilia cards. These were released in both baseball and basketball card sets. A select few of these also included autographs on them for the first ever cards with both pieces of jersey and autographs, like this Michael Jordan card, which sold for $1.44 million in February 2021. When autograph cards first started to become a trend, though they were more possible than ever before to find, they still were not common to be found in packs. pulling an autograph card was something special, and most collectors would really consider themselves very fortunate if they had any good autograph cards in their collection. And the idea that that particular athlete had actually had that specific card in their hand to sign made the cards really stand out in many collectors' minds. But as autograph cards began to become bigger and bigger things in the last few years of the 90s, card producing companies needed a more efficient way to get the many autographs that they would need to produce the number of autograph cards that the market was demanding more and more of. And thus, the sticker auto was born. How much easier was it for the card company to send the athlete a big sheet of thousands of stickers to be signed than it was to send them and get them to sign a mountain-high pile of individual cards? The first ever sticker autos were done by the company Sage in their college basketball and football releases, but it was the 1999-2000 Fleer Ultra Fresh Ink basketball product that saw the first use of sticker autos in a mainstream set. In 2000, Fleer also used a bunch of stickers in their baseball products, and Upper Deck did so in their football products, and then Topps and Donruss began to as well in 2001. The purpose of these stickers was basically convenience. When sticker autos were first a thing, for the most part there wasn't a big difference in the collector's mindset between having an on-card auto or having a sticker auto, but gradually over time many collectors have begun to dislike sticker autos for a variety of very reasonable reasons. For one, when autograph cards could first be pulled from packs, for many people one of the coolest things about them were the fact that the cards had actually been held in hand by the athlete. This helped give the card a deeper connection to the player himself. Secondly, over time, it also became more evident to collectors that sticker autos gave room for counterfeiting. And thirdly, just from a pure aesthetic perspective, sticker autos could just simply never hold a candle to on-card autos. And in recent years, as autographs have become only a more and more important part of the sports card hobby, sticker autos have become almost the norm, whereas on-card autos are often the exception. Due to this easier method of getting copious amounts of autographs from athletes, the card company just sends each athlete a notebook full of stickers for them to sign in their free time. Autograph cards have become more and more common in recent years, and even casual collectors are likely to have a handful of them in their collection. Exploring through the sports card marketplaces nowadays, due to this heavy increase in autograph supply, it's now possible to find autograph cards of bench player type professional athletes for as little as 50 cents. Even a number of Hall of Fame players who sign frequently have autograph cards that can be found for under $5. However, as we can see, autograph collecting has a deep history. Sports card production companies may be a part of a process of flooding the market with a copious number of autographs now, but autograph collecting has been a thing for centuries. A heavily increasing supply doesn't mean the demand will ever disappear, but it might mean that autograph cards of your favorite player could potentially be cheaper than they've ever been before. As long as your favorite player isn't Kobe, MJ, LeBron, or one of the early to mid 20th century iconic baseball players, those autographs can still be extremely expensive. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.